All right, so we are finally ready to start setting up your Weebly website. So in order to do so, you will need to come to the students.weebly.com website. Make sure you're not going right to Weebly, the main website, because that will not give you this kind of login that you need for this. You can get a link for this on Google Classroom. There's also a link for it on the doc that I have provided you for this assignment. Your username is just your student ID number. Your password for this will be technology205, and you can change that on your own later if you would like, but that is what the default was set up to be when I put these accounts together. So once you get your account information in there and then you click the button to continue, it will eventually bring you to this page where you can start to build your own website. Couple things to think about is you will have to decide what you want your website to be called. You have to give it a name, and you also have to give it a URL or domain, which we talked about in class. A URL domain is the web address in order to access your website. That's what a computer would need to send out to a server somewhere to get the information to display your site. So you have to give it a unique name. There can't be any website in the whole world with the same name as your website, so it has to be completely unique. In order to come up with something, you might type in, like if I just typed in technology, it's going to show me that's already taken, so I can't use that word. I could type in my last name, that's already taken also. So I could try putting in my last name and then maybe a few numbers, okay? And that works for me. You can customize it as you'd like, but this is a permanent thing. Once you set this, it's set. So make sure you get something that is easy to remember. You will be able to see this later, so you don't have to write it down or anything. But once you have that set up, we're going to click continue. And then we can start to actually build your website. The first thing is actually giving me a little hint here. It says start or get started by dragging an element to your page. Just a couple things to know. This on this side here are all the different things that you can add to your website. What I'm seeing here in this space, kind of the main workspace here, is what my site currently looks like. My website obviously doesn't have a whole lot to it. It is currently just called My Site, and there's just kind of some of the default images there. Anything I'd like to add, just you click on it from this side. Like if I wanted to add a picture, I click on image, I just drag it over. You can kind of see where it's trying to place it. There's really not a whole lot of options right now. I'm just going to drop it right here underneath this text, and then it would give me the option to upload an image. Anytime you add something or anything that is existing already here in your workspace, all you have to do to change what that is you click on it. You see that when I just hover my mouse over the item, it gives this sort of blue line highlighted around it. If I click on it, however, it will give me the option to change what that says. A couple other things you need to know is across the top here are some other important places you might be visiting, or you will be visiting. The first one here is where it says pages. Pages are the different pages of your website. One website, lots of web pages. Currently, this website only has one page, just the home page. In order to add any more pages, which you will have to add at least 3 more pages, you will click on this little plus sign. You'll pick just standard page, and then you need to give it a name. And you can change some of these settings, but they're not super important to change right now. I'm just going to call this summary, and that will add another page for me. I'll just click done. And now I have 2 pages in my website. I've got my home page and my summary. You might notice that right here, this is our navigation menu. And Weebly is really nice about how it organizes your site for you. So automatically, when I set up my site, it gave me a navigation menu. And everything I add in terms of pages are going to appear in this navigation menu. So far, since I just have my home page and my summary page, that's all I see in this navigation menu. But that's pretty standard through through all of Weebly, it will just set it up that way for you. The other things you can change are if you click on theme, it will give you the option to change the look of your website. It just gave you a default theme when you opened up your account. If you would like to change that theme, you can click on these little colored dots to sort of change the color scheme for the specific theme that is already selected. If you want a totally different theme though, we're going to click change theme. And it's going to open up another window for you where you can actually select through quite a few different themes that they have already put together. Now these themes are separated by categories. Most likely the online store themes are not going to work for you because that means you're trying to sell something and you are not selling something with your website. So probably what's going to be the best bet for you is the one that says personal. Event might work, business might work, portfolio might work, but personal is a good place to start. So I'm going to click on that. Any of these themes you can use. Any of these themes, if you choose them, you can change it later. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on this one, and I'm going to say choose theme. And it's going to basically reset my website in this theme. So it didn't change. If I would have added a whole bunch of content and information, it would still be there. It just changes the look of it. The other thing you will want to do is come to where it says settings, and you need to give your site a title or a name. So currently it's just called My Site, and I would like it to be called Technology Teacher. So I'm going to type that in and click save. The text that you put here is going to show up on top of all of my web pages. That's why it's important to give it a name that matters for the site content. All right, so I'm going to go back to build to continue to work on my website, to edit it and make it be what I would like it to be like. Now, as we said before, this area here on the left-hand side, these are all the different things that you can add to your website, whether it's content or media. There's lots of different options. You can add a map, you can add buttons, basically a link to get somewhere else. But just to show you how some of this works, if I would like to say, let me scroll down here a little bit. Since this is about a specific topic, I'm going to add some text as a text box right here. So I can add basically a summary of what I am making my website on. So you can click on it and type whatever you'd want to put in there. Any of these things that you add, it will put it in sort of like a grid format over here in your website, and then the moment you click on it, you can change what it does. Now I'm going to say, well, pretend I typed something in here, and then I would also like to add a picture, maybe just something to kind of go with this text. Now as you can see, everywhere I drag my picture, there's a blue line, and it's sort of showing me where it is trying to place that picture. So I'm going to say I want it to be, kind of offset to the side of my text. So I'm going to click it or drop it right over here. And now it's put my image right in this space. If I would like to then select an image, I'm going to click right on that, and it's going to open up this menu where I have a few options. If I already have a picture on my computer that I would like to use, I can just upload something. But there is a library of images that you can search. So let's say I wanted something that represents technology. I will search for that, and it pops up with a bunch of things. So if you see a picture you really like, I'll say I'm just going to go with these remote controls, and those are now in my on my website. After you've built your site, after you've decided you've got everything there, you've got all of your pages, your home page, as well as your 3 extra pages, you're ready to publish your website. In order to actually publish the website, which means it's going to be live, anyone can access it from the internet. So you will click on this button that says publish. And sometimes if it's the first time you're ever publishing, it will ask you to confirm, but it says website is published, and it gives you a link, so I can click on that and see exactly what my website now looks like. Obviously I haven't put in a ton of information in this site, so there's not a whole lot there yet, but that is what it looks like live online as is. So continue to work through your site. Feel free if you have questions about things. There's lots of things you can find in this help menu here, or just feel free to kind of try things out. Just because you add something doesn't mean you can't get rid of it. Anything you want to get rid of, just click on that little X, get rid of it. But there's a lot of options, a lot of things you can do with Weebly.